Okay, AARP is sharing the latest holiday shopping scams. A new survey reveals 3 out of 4 Americans have experienced at least one form of holiday fraud. Criminals are updating their tactics so often, and it's so important to stay up to date on the latest trends in these scams. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about this very issue, AARP's Kathy Stokes. She is the Director of Fraud Prevention. Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. Let's talk about holiday shoppers and what they should be aware of when it comes to purchasing any kind of gifts this holiday season.
That scammers are doing their business at an all-time high. Every corner they are around. It's become a real, I would say, pandemic, epidemic anyway, in this country. And now that we're all getting ready to shop for the holidays, they're going to be out in force too. So we have to keep an eye on what things to look for.
Let's talk about gift cards for a moment, because I know gift cards are certainly a very popular item during any holiday season, but they can also be ripe with fraud or for scammers out there. Tell me what you know in terms of this holiday shopping season, what people need to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a gift card? But 1 in 4 U.S. adults tell us that they have either given or received a card with no value on it, which is crazy, right? 1 in 4 people have experienced that. And of course, some of that could be error at the cash register, but a lot of that's going to be crime. And it's going to be scammers going into retail stores, pulling some cards off the racks, exposing the numbers off the back, putting those cards back on and waiting for them to be activated at the register. And as soon as they are, they're able to drain those funds. But they also have electronic means to troll for cards with value on them online. And when they find them, they can take the value off as well. So, I hate to say don't buy gift cards. Everybody loves gift cards. But I think there are some things you can do to be safe. If you're going to buy one from a retailer, pull the one off the back of the rack instead of the first couple. In the event somebody was there manipulating them, you have a better chance that they didn't get to the back. And then when you get a card, if you can register it, go ahead and register it, pull up the value on it. You can do that on the website and take a picture of it so that you know what was on there. When you go to use the card, if you find there's no value, then at least you have a record that there was value, and you might be able to deal with the retailer or the company who issued the card to try to get that money back to you.
A lot of times we're going to see online ads on various social media platforms, and let's talk about ways to make sure that if you do in fact purchase some of those items using Venmo or PayPal or Zelle, if it's okay and in fact safe to do so.
Well, I think anytime you're making a purchase, the safest method is to use a credit card, because there are a lot of consumer protections wrapped into the credit card. Not the same with the P2P apps. If you purchase something online and it turns out you never get it, you don't have the same credit card protection against that loss. And it's just what these P2P apps have always said. We basically want you to use this with trusted contacts. Send money to the grandkid in college, or pay the guy who's going to get the snow off your front patio, but don't use it to do business with anybody that you don't know or haven't done business with before.
Kathy, if there was like a checklist or a priority list, and you had like bullet points, 1, 2, 3, for all those shoppers out there, just to kind of be safe this holiday season, what would be those bullet points?
The first one would be don't click on links. Don't click on a link from social media because you think your friend just sent you a great deal, because that friend's account could have been hacked. Don't click on online ads. Don't click on email links or links that are in texts. Instead, go to the retailer or the company that's trying to reach you. yourself. Go on your web browser, type in the name of that company.com or whatever, so you know that a scammer is not getting in between you and that retailer. You should also make sure you keep your operating system and for your device and your antivirus software up to date. When you get that prompt to update the operating system, don't just ignore it and wait, because sometimes those are there to patch vulnerabilities that can protect you if you allow the patch to happen. And anything that sounds like a really great deal, especially at this time of the year, could very well be fraud. So it's just really the best deal is just go to the websites that typing in the URL that and just not trusting what else is out there.
Before we let you go, Kathy, let's talk about donations, because people obviously they like to donate before the end of the year. Is there any kind of guidance that you like to give to people before they go ahead and donate?
Yeah, I think you need to know who you're donating to. Don't just rely on what the fundraiser sounds like. If it sounds like it's a great cause, that's great, but it may not even be legitimate. So I wouldn't respond to donation requests that come to me. I would say I will take it under consideration for next year, but then look online. There are 3 or 4 different great websites where you can learn about whether a fundraiser is even legitimate, and if the money that's going to that cause is really going to that cause. And those are like charitynavigator.org, give.org from the Better Business Bureau, and Charity Watch. Any of those are going to help you understand how much of that money is actually going to the cause versus even if they're outright fraud, they won't even show up on those lists. So do your research and make sure that money's going to the cause that you really care about.
Is there a place where we can find kind of these tips and tricks that you just said, perhaps AARP's website?
Yeah, our fraud page is aarp.org/Fraud Watch Network. You can sign up for biweekly alerts by email or text to help just keep you sort of in the know of what's happening out there and make it something that you're aware of all the time, because we have to be these days. The crime is only getting worse.
All right, Kathy Stokes, AARP's Director of Fraud Prevention. We really appreciate you joining us on the Digital Desk. Thanks very much.